On the surface, they are the picture-perfect reality television family. We see the Sunday dinners, the coordinated outfits, the home renovations, and the seemingly unbreakable bond of being 7 little people against the big world. The cameras capture the laughter and the triumphs, painting a portrait of resilience and unity that has captivated millions. But if you look closely, past the editing, past the cheerful background music, and past the carefully curated confessionals, you start to notice the cracks. You see a glance that lingers a second too long. You hear a tone of voice that cuts a little too deep. You notice that one person at that table is not treated like a daughter, but like a problem to be solved. Her name is Anna. And tonight, we are not just recapping a show. We are dissecting the autopsy of a family relationship. We are ripping back the curtain on the silent abuse of unity and exposing why a daughter might choose total isolation over her parents' conditional love. We are going to show you why the perfect family narrative is actually a cage, and why Anna isn't missing from the heart of the family because she got lost, but because she is trying to escape. Before we unlock the dark secrets of this family dynamic and reveal the insider theories that the network doesn't want you to hear, I need you to make a choice. If you are ready to stop being a spectator and start seeing the truth, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now. We are the only ones brave enough to say what everyone else is only thinking. Join us, and let's dismantle the script. To understand the Anna case, we have to understand the theater of it all. This family operates like a high-stakes stage production where everyone has a specific role to play, and deviation from the script is the ultimate sin. The father plays the hard worker, the provider who demands respect simply for existing. The mother plays the martyr, the glue holding it all together, whose love is vast but suspiciously transactional. Then there are the golden children, the ones who learned early on that survival means echoing the parents' opinions. And then, there is Anna. In every family cult. And make no mistake, a high-control family unit operates exactly like a cult. There must be a scapegoat. There must be a vessel to pour all the anxiety, frustration, and dysfunction into so that the rest of the group can remain pure. We have received reports from sources close to the production who suggest that what you see on TV is only the sanitized version of the control mechanisms at play. These insiders theorize that the tension we witness is merely the tip of the iceberg, and that off-camera, the dynamic shifts from passive-aggressive to overtly punitive. The premise of this investigation is simple but terrifying. We are treating this family dynamic like a crime scene. But this isn't a crime of physical violence. It is a crime of emotional erasure. We are investigating the systematic dismantling of a young woman's identity under the guise of parenting. Let's go back to day 0. This isn't a specific date on the calendar, but a psychological turning point. It is the moment Anna stopped strictly following the script. In high-control families, the illusion of harmony is more important than actual connection. The parents rely on a concept called the united front. On the show, you hear them say it constantly. We do this together. We are a team. But true teamwork allows for individuality. In this house, unity is a code word for compliance. When Anna expresses a desire for independence, whether it's moving out, choosing a career, or simply dating, it isn't viewed as a natural part of growing up. It is viewed as a betrayal. Insiders have long speculated that the parents possess a deep-seated insecurity about their authority. When a child like Anna, who is naturally independent and resilient, starts to shine without their help, it triggers a narcissistic injury in the parents. They cannot handle that she might be okay without them. So, the narrative shifts. They begin to rewrite history. You've seen it happen. They frame her independence as rebellion. They frame her confidence as attitude. They frame her trauma as drama. This is the architecture of blame. It is a sophisticated psychological trap where the victim is blamed for the reaction to the abuse rather than the abuse itself. Consider the emotional punching bag theory. Psychological experts often discuss the concept of displaced aggression. Imagine the father comes home frustrated with work, or perhaps there is tension in the marriage that they refuse to address on camera. That tension has energy, it has weight, it cannot just disappear, it has to go somewhere. In a healthy home, the parents would communicate. In this home, they find the path of least resistance. They find Anna. We have analyzed hours of footage and cross-referenced it with behavioral patterns of narcissistic family systems, and the data is damning. Notice how often a scene begins with the parents stressed about external factors, finances, production schedules, marital disagreements, and ends with them lecturing Anna about something trivial. She becomes the lightning rod. If the father is angry at the world, he yells at Anna for her paint job. If the mother is feeling unappreciated, she guilt-trips Anna for not visiting enough. The reports suggest that this goes even deeper when the camera's cut. There are theories that the parents use Anna as a buffer to avoid facing the elephant in the room, their own relationship. If they are busy fixing Anna, they don't have to fix themselves. Anna isn't the problem. She is the solution to their problem. She absorbs the toxicity, so they don't have to poison each other. It is a symbiotic parasitism, where the host feeds off the emotional energy of the child. But what happens when the scapegoat tries to speak? This leads us to the dramatizing defense. You have seen this play out in real time. Anna attempts to explain her feelings. She tries to say, "I feel hurt when you say that." The immediate reaction from the family unit is not curiosity or empathy. It is invalidation. They use weapons of mass gaslighting. You hear phrases like, "You're crazy," "You're always playing the victim," or the classic, "We are just trying to help you." This is designed to make Anna doubt her own reality. It is a psychological strategy meant to destabilize her perception of truth. If they can convince her that she is too sensitive, then they never have to take accountability for being too harsh. Recent leaks and fan theories have pointed to a disturbing trend regarding the script. It is believed by many observers that the parents actively sabotage Anna's attempts at success to keep her dependent. When she succeeds, graduating, buying a home, starting a business, the praise is always backhanded. It is always coupled with a warning or a reminder of her past failures. "We are proud of you, but don't forget who got you here." That's great, but are you sure you can handle it? This is the double bind. If Anna fails, she proves them right, that she is the black sheep who can't function. But if she succeeds, she proves them wrong, that she doesn't need them. And to a controlling parent, being unneeded is a fate worse than death. So they put her in a position where she can never truly win. Let's dig deeper into the trash can metaphor. In every toxic family system, there is one person designated to hold the shame of the entire group. The family projects their own unwanted traits onto the scapegoat. The father, perhaps struggling with his own feelings of inadequacy, projects incompetence onto Anna. The mother, perhaps struggling with a need for control, projects instability onto Anna. They treat her like a receptacle for their own psychological garbage. When they look at her, they don't see a daughter. They see a mirror reflecting their own flaws, and they hate her for it. This is why the criticism is so relentless. It isn't about her grades or her cleaning habits. It is about them purging their own internal demons by whipping the designated target. There is a terrifying theory circulating among longtime viewers and amateur sleuths regarding the finances of the family. While unproven, the speculation is that the financial independence of the children is a major threat to the parents' control. By keeping the children, and specifically Anna, tied to the family business or the family show, they maintain leverage. Money becomes a tool of coercion. "We paid for this. We bought you that." It creates a debt that can never be repaid. Anna is constantly reminded of the ledger. She is living in a state of indentured emotional servitude. The message is clear. You owe us your life, so you don't get to have one of your own. This dynamic creates a profound sense of exhaustion. Imagine waking up every day knowing you have to audition for your parents' love. Imagine knowing that no matter how well you perform, the judges have already decided to fail you. This is Anna's reality. The hook of this tragedy is not that she is unloved. It is that she is loved incorrectly. She is loved as a possession, not as a person. The reports from insiders suggest that Anna has attempted to set boundaries multiple times only to be met with severe emotional retaliation. This retaliation doesn't look like screaming, it looks like the cold shoulder. It looks like being left out of family group chats. It looks like forgetting to invite her to minor events. It is the weaponization of silence. We need to talk about siblings. In a cult of unity, the other members are forced to become enforcers. If they side with Anna, they risk becoming the new scapegoat. So for their own survival, they join in. You see the siblings rolling their eyes when Anna speaks. You see them piling on when the parents start the criticism. They aren't doing this because they hate their sister. They are doing it because they are terrified of their parents. It is a survival instinct. If they throw Anna to the wolves won't eat them. This isolation is the most painful part of the Anna case. She is not just fighting her parents. She is fighting a multi-front war against the people who are supposed to be her allies. There is a specific incident that insiders claim was edited out of the final cut, a moment that changes everything. Theory suggests there was a confrontation where Anna explicitly called out the hypocrisy of the perfect family image. Allegedly, the reaction was not anger, but a chilling calmness from the parents, a methodical dismantling of her confidence until she broke down in tears, which was then filmed and framed as her being unstable. If this theory is true, it proves that the show itself is a weapon. The cameras are used to enforce the narrative. Look how crazy she is, the edit says, while hiding the 2 hours of provocation that led to the breakdown. This is the ultimate gaslight because it recruits the audience to participate in the abuse. When you watch the show and think, wow, Anna is being difficult, you have been successfully manipulated by the producers and the parents. You have become an accessory to scapegoating. The psychological toll of this is catastrophic. We are looking at a case of complex PTSD caused by chronic emotional invalidation. Anna is living in a high-stress environment where her fight-or-flight response is permanently stuck in the on position. This explains the anxiety, the defensiveness, and the high emotion. She isn't dramatic. She is traumatized. She is a cornered animal reacting to a threat that only she can see because everyone else is pretending the cage is a castle. As we move deeper into this investigation, we have to look at the concept of the golden child versus the scapegoat and how the parents pit the siblings against each other. It is reported that the parents frequently compare Anna to her siblings, specifically the ones who are more compliant. Why can't you be more like him? She never gives us this trouble. This triangulation is deliberate. It destroys the bond between siblings so that the only strong relationship in the house is the one with the parents. They conquer by dividing. If the kids were united, they could overthrow the tyranny of the parents. But by keeping them at each other's throats, the parents remain the supreme rulers. The evidence is mounting. The glares, the sighs, the backhanded compliments, and the rumors of off-camera control all paint a picture of a family in crisis. But the crisis isn't Anna. The crisis is a system that requires a victim to function. And as we are about to see, the most dangerous moment for the scapegoat is not when they are being abused, it is when they decide to stop taking it. We are approaching the breaking point, the moment where the script gets thrown in the fire. But be warned, when the scapegoat runs, the family doesn't just let them go. They hunt. They launch a smear campaign to ensure that if Anna leaves, she leaves with nothing. Not her reputation, not her confidence, and certainly not the truth. Violence isn't always loud. We are conditioned to think of abuse as a raised fist or a screaming match. But in the architecture of this family, the most devastating weapons are silent. We are entering the phase of the investigation known as the War of Whispers. If you watch the footage closely, specifically the B-roll that transitions between scenes, you catch the microaggressions that the editors leave in. It is a sigh from the mother when Anna enters the room. It is a shared look of exhaustion between the parents that says, "Here we go again," before Anna has even spoken a word. These are not accidents. These are calculated signals. Our investigation has uncovered a theory circulating among former production staff that the family has developed a nonverbal language of exclusion. Sources suggest that a simple glance across the dinner table serves as a command to the other siblings to disengage. It is a social death, enacted in real time. Imagine the psychological horror of sitting at a table with 6 other people who are passing food and sharing jokes, but there is an invisible glass wall around you. You are there, but you are not there. This is unity without respect. The parents demand Anna's physical presence to maintain the image of the happy family for the cameras, but they deny her any emotional connection. It is a hostage situation disguised as a Sunday dinner. This leads to the psychological concept of the confinement. Anna is frequently forced into situations where she is trapped. Long car rides, family vacations, holiday weekends, where escape is impossible. In these confined spaces, the passive aggression intensifies. We have analyzed the audio tracks from these segments, and the frequency of backhanded compliments spikes when the family is in a vehicle. The mother might say, "I'm just glad you finally found a job that accepts someone like you." Or the father might joke, "Maybe one day you'll actually listen to advice." They frame these as jokes. If Anna gets upset, they deploy the gaslight maneuver we discussed earlier. Can't you take a joke? Why are you so sensitive? But here's the insider theory that changes how you view these scenes. Reports suggest that these car rides and dinners are often preceded by off-camera lectures, where Anna is explicitly told to smile and look happy, or risk financial or emotional consequences. The theory is that the tension we see on her face isn't just teenage angst. It is the face of someone who is being forced to perform in a play she hates, directed by people who despise her character. She is stuck in a double bind. If she stays at the table and endures the insults, she is being abused. If she stands up and leaves, she is labeled the bad daughter who ruined dinner. She loses either way. This is the hallmark of a no-win scenario designed to break the human spirit. And then comes the turning point. The moment the silence stops being a weapon of the parents and becomes a shield for the daughter. We have seen the moments where Anna walks away. The door closes, the car drives off. In a normal family, this would be the moment of panic. A parent would call, a text would be sent. Are you okay? Let's talk. But in this family, the reaction is chillingly different. This brings us to the weaponization of silence. When Anna walks out, the parents do not chase her. They do not worry, they shun her. This is known in psychological circles as the freeze-out. It is a punitive tactic designed to inflict maximum emotional pain. By refusing to reach out, they are telling her that her absence is not felt. They are telling her that she is disposable. We have reviewed the timelines of these estrangements, and some insiders claim they have lasted for weeks, even months, with the show's editing making it look like only a few days. During this time, the reports suggest the parents actively instruct the siblings not to contact Anna. They enforce a blockade. This is not giving a child space to cool off. This is solitary confinement. The goal of the freeze-out is to force Anna to crawl back. They want her to break. They want the isolation to become so unbearable that she returns to the family fold, begging for forgiveness for a crime she didn't commit. They are waiting for her to apologize for being abused. It is a power play of the highest order. We can live without you, the silence says. But can you live without us? However, the narrative is shifting. Anna is staying away longer. The silence is backfiring, and this forces the parents to engage in the false olive branch. You have seen this scene. It usually takes place in a neutral location, like a coffee shop or a park, specifically chosen so that Anna cannot cause a scene. The parents sit opposite her. The lighting is soft, the music is somber. It looks like a reconciliation. But listen to the words. Really listen. We are now dissecting the meaningless apology. The father will look Anna in the eye and say, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Or the mother will say, "I'm sorry if you think we were too hard on you." These are not apologies. These are tactical nukes wrapped in gift paper. "I'm sorry you feel that way" shifts the blame entirely onto Anna's feelings, not the parents' actions. It implies that the problem isn't what they did, but how she reacted to it. It is a refusal to accept reality. There is a leaked theory from a lip-reading expert who analyzed a conversation that was partially obscured by background noise in a recent season. The theory alleges that the father whispered, "We are doing this for you, you ungrateful child," moments before the camera zoomed in for a hug. This aligns perfectly with the behavioral profile we are building. The parents want the reset button. They want to skip the accountability chapter and jump straight to the happy family chapter because the show must go on. They need the cast to be full. They need the photo op. They don't want a relationship. They want a roster. This brings us to the concept of asymmetrical accountability. In this dynamic, the burden of labor is entirely on Anna. She is the one expected to go to therapy. She is the one expected to work on herself. She is the one expected to swallow her pride. The parents? They believe their status as mom and dad grants them diplomatic immunity from criticism. They do not have to change. They do not have to learn. They just have to be. Watch the body language during these reconciliation talks. The parents sit back, arms crossed, chins up, defensive, dominant, judgmental. Anna sits forward, shoulders hunched, eyes down, submissive, anxious, pleading. She is trying to explain her humanity to people who view her as an extension of themselves. She says, "I just want you to listen." They hear, I am challenging your authority. The translation is lost because they are speaking different languages. Anna is speaking the language of connection. They are speaking the language of control. There is a disturbing element to these fix-it phases involving the audience. The parents often use their confessionals to control the narrative of the reconciliation. They will tell the camera, "We are trying so hard with Anna, but she is just so stubborn." They are preemptively poisoning the jury. They know that if the audience believes they are the benevolent peacemakers, Anna's continued distance looks like petulance. This is a media-savvy smear campaign. They are recruiting millions of strangers to be flying monkeys, a term for the henchmen of a narcissist. When you leave a comment saying, "Anna needs to respect her parents," you are unknowingly doing the dirty work of the abuser. You are validating the narrative that the victim is the problem. Let's go deeper into the elephant in the room, the marital dynamic. We touched on this above, but new theories are emerging about how the parents' marriage creates a pressure cooker that Anna is forced to live in. Insiders speculate that the parents have a trauma bond. They are united not by love, but by a shared need to maintain a fortress against the world. They view any outsider, even their own daughter, as a threat to their alliance if she doesn't toe the line. When Anna points out a flaw in their parenting, she isn't just criticizing a decision. She is threatening the structural integrity of their codependency. This is why the rage is so disproportionate. If Anna forgets to take out the trash, it's not just a messy kitchen, it's an act of treason. The father's reaction, the yelling, the red-faced anger, is not about the trash. It is about the terror that he is losing control. And the mother's reaction, the weeping, the "I do everything for you people," is not about the trash. It is about her martyrdom being questioned. Anna is the trigger for their existential dread. We have to talk about the financial coercion that often accompanies these peace talks. There are rumors, persistent, detailed rumors, that the contracts for the show are structured in a way that gives the parents executive control over the children's earnings, or at least the distribution of opportunities. If this is true, the false olive branch is also a bribe. Come back to the table, make up with us, and we will sign off on your new car. Stop being difficult, and we will help you with the down payment. It turns love into a commodity. It teaches Anna that affection has a price tag, and that price is her soul. But something is changing. You can see it in Anna's eyes in the latest season. The exhaustion is turning into resolve. The false olive branch is no longer working because she has realized the tree is rotten. She is starting to see the pattern. She realizes that every time she accepts the non-apology, she resets the cycle of abuse. The honeymoon phase will last a week, maybe 2, and then the side eyes will start. The whispers will return. The trash can will be opened again. The most dangerous thing for a toxic family system is a victim who no longer needs them. And Anna is becoming dangerous. She is finding validation outside the home, through her own work, her own friends, and yes, even through the comments of viewers like you who see the truth. This external validation is breaking the spell. The gaslighting doesn't work when a million people are shouting, "You are not crazy." We are approaching the climax of this tragedy, the great refusal. There is a moment coming, or perhaps it has already happened and was left on the cutting room floor, where Anna stops arguing. She stops trying to explain. She stops crying. She simply stops. This is the moment of differentiation. It is the moment she realizes that she is not an extension of her parents, but a separate, whole human being. And that realization is going to burn the script to the ground. But the parents won't go down without a fight. As Anna pulls away, the extinction burst begins. This is a behavioral term for the sudden, dramatic escalation of behavior when a reinforcement is removed. When the parents realize their old tricks, the guilt, the money, the silence, are no longer working, they will panic. They will likely escalate the drama to catastrophic levels to try and hook her back in. We predict a major medical emergency or a family crisis will be manufactured or exaggerated in the near future. It is the classic, "Look at me, I'm dying" maneuver to force the scapegoat to return out of obligation. We have received tips that the parents are already planting the seeds for this. Subtle comments about health, vague posts on social media. They are setting the stage for a guilt trip of biblical proportions. They are preparing to weaponize their own mortality to keep Anna in chains. How can you be mad at us when we are sick? It is the ultimate trump card. The question is, will Anna fall for it? Or has she finally learned the hardest lesson of all? That sometimes saving yourself means letting others drown in the toxicity they created. In the next part of this investigation, we are going to explore the verdict. We will break down the moment Anna declines the ultimate invitation, the holiday gathering, and the fallout that ensued. We will discuss the definition of love and why the empty chair at the table is not a tragedy, but a victory. And finally, we will turn the mirror on you. Because the scariest part of the Anna case isn't that it's happening on TV, it's that it might be happening in your own home. We have arrived at the final verdict. This is the moment where the autopsy of a family relationship reveals the cause of death. It wasn't a sudden accident, it was a slow, deliberate poisoning of the spirit. We are now witnessing the great refusal. For years, the dynamic relied on Anna's compliance. It relied on her showing up to be the punching bag. But what happens when the target removes herself from the range of fire? We believe we have identified the exact moment the shift occurred. It wasn't a screaming match. It wasn't a dramatic exit caught on camera. It was a moment of quiet, terrifying clarity. Insider reports suggest that the ultimate breaking point revolved around a major holiday gathering, the Super Bowl of toxic family dynamics. In these high-control families, the holiday is not a celebration. It is a mandatory performance of loyalty. The theory is that Anna received a summons, not an invitation but a summons, to attend a multi-day family event that would be heavily filmed. The implication was clear. You need to be here to make us look like a happy family. In the past, Anna would have gone. She would have swallowed her anxiety, put on the mask, and endured the side eyes and the whispers for the sake of peace. But this time, she did something revolutionary. She said no. And even more importantly, she didn't offer a 20-minute explanation. She didn't beg for them to understand. She simply declined. This is what psychologists call the boundary of steel. When you stop justifying your no, you stop giving them leverage to argue. You see, a toxic parent views an explanation as a negotiation. If you say, "I can't come because I'm tired," they will argue, "You can sleep here." If you say, "I have work," they will say, "Take a day off." By giving no reason, Anna removed the oxygen from the fire. The reaction, according to sources close to the situation, was nuclear. This confirms the extinction burst theory we discussed. When the scapegoat finally installs a lock on the door, the family doesn't knock politely. They try to batter it down. We suspect that following this refusal, the family unleashed a smear campaign. This is the final stage of the narcissistic cycle. If they cannot control you, they must control how others see you. They have to assassinate your character so that your absence doesn't look like an escape. It looks like a betrayal. Watch the confessionals closely in the episodes following a suspected estrangement. Listen to the narrative they spin. They don't say, "Anna is setting boundaries." They say, "Anna is in a dark place." They don't say, "Anna needs space." They say, "We don't know why she is acting like this." They frame her autonomy as mental instability. It is a calculated move to garner sympathy from the audience and paint themselves as the worried, loving parents dealing with a problem child. They are weaponizing their concern. They are burying her reputation under a mountain of fake pity. But here is the twist that they didn't see coming. The audience is waking up. You are waking up. The smear campaign is failing because the cracks in their own masks are too visible. When they criticize Anna for being lazy while she is holding down a job and managing her own home, the contradiction is glaring. When they call her selfish for skipping one dinner after years of servitude, the projection is undeniable. They are trying to sell a story that no one is buying anymore. This brings us to the most profound psychological shift in the Anna case: differentiation of self. For her entire life, Anna was an appendage of the family organism. She was the Johnston daughter, not Anna. Differentiation is the painful process of surgically removing yourself from that organism. It hurts. It feels like dying because, in a way, a part of you is dying. The part of you that needed their approval to survive is taking its last breath. We believe Anna has reached the stage of indifference. This is the opposite of love, and it is the opposite of hate. Hate is still a connection. Hate still requires energy. Indifference is freedom. It is the realization that their opinion of her is none of her business. You can see it in her recent demeanor. She isn't fighting for her seat at the table anymore because she has built her own table. She has realized that the unity they preach is actually a codependency cult, and she has canceled her membership. But what happens to the family when the scapegoat leaves? This is the vacuum theory. A toxic system cannot function without a place to dump its toxins. With Anna gone, the family is in a crisis of regulation. The parents still have their stress, their marital issues, and their need for control, but the vessel is missing. Insider theories suggest that the family will soon begin, or has already begun, the process of recruiting a replacement. They will turn their eyes to another sibling. The golden child status is never permanent. If you are the favorite today, you could be the target tomorrow. Watch the show carefully. Who is the new recipient of the jokes? Who is the new focus of the criticisms? The toxicity is a game of musical chairs, and eventually everyone gets sat on. The tragedy of the parents is that they believe they have won. They believe that by freezing Anna out, they have punished her. They don't realize that their silence is not a punishment. It is a gift. They have handed her the keys to her own peace. Every holiday she spends away from them is a holiday without tension. Every phone call she doesn't answer is a conversation where she isn't belittled. They think they are shunning her, but in reality, they have liberated her. Let's return to the image of the empty chair. In the beginning, we looked at it with sadness. We saw it as a void. We saw it as a missing piece. But now, after dissecting the anatomy of this abuse, I want you to look at that empty chair differently. That chair is not empty because of a tragedy. It is empty because of a boundary. That empty space at the dinner table is a monument to self-respect. It represents the courage it took for one young woman to say, "I love myself enough to not sit there." It is the most powerful object in the room because it is the only thing that is honest. The parents will look at that chair and see disobedience. We look at that chair and see survival. Anna learned the hardest lesson of all. Love is not endurance. Love is not swallowing your voice until you choke. Love is not a performance you put on to keep the producers happy. Love is safe. And if you are not safe in your childhood home, you have a moral obligation to leave it. Now, I need to speak directly to you. I need to break the fourth wall because this story isn't just about a reality TV show. It is a mirror. As we investigated the Anna case, we didn't just find a script. We found a reflection of millions of households. Did you recognize your father in the angry outbursts we described? Did you hear your mother's voice in the passive-aggressive sighs? Did you feel a tightening in your chest when we talked about the dread of the family group chat? If you did, then you know that this investigation is about you. You are the Anna of your story. You have been the scapegoat. You have been the trash can for your family's emotional baggage. You have spent years trying to figure out the right combination of words, the right level of success, the right amount of silence to make them love you the way you need to be loved. I am here to tell you the truth, that no one else will. It is not your fault. You cannot fix a system that is designed to be broken. You cannot heal people who benefit from your pain. You have been waiting for them to change the script. You have been waiting for the apology. You have been waiting for the false olive branch to turn into a real olive tree. Stop waiting. The credits are rolling on their production, but your movie is just starting. You have a choice to make tonight. You can continue to sit in the chair and take the abuse, or you can stand up and leave the room. It is terrifying to walk away. The silence is loud. The guilt is heavy. The smear campaign will be painful. But on the other side of that door is something you have never tasted before. Freedom. We are building a community here of people who see the truth. We are the 7 little people who refuse to be small anymore. If you are ready to stop being the punching bag and start being the protagonist of your own life, I need you to do something for me. Go to the comments section right now. I want you to answer one question, and I want you to be honest. What is the elephant in the room in your family that no one is allowed to talk about? What is the secret that keeps you trapped? Write it down. Let it out. We read every single story because your truth deserves to be heard. And if this deep dive opened your eyes, if it validated the feelings you've been hiding for years, then destroy that like button. Share this video with the one person you know who needs to hear it. Maybe it's your sibling, maybe it's your partner, Maybe it's the version of yourself from 10 years ago. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. We are not just watching TV here. We are dismantling the lies they tell us about family, about love, and about ourselves. We are going to keep digging. We are going to keep exposing the secrets, and we are going to do it together. The empty chair is waiting. The question is, do you have the courage to leave it empty? I'm signing off, but the investigation never ends. Stay safe, stay strong, and remember, you are not the problem. You are the survivor.